One of our members on Patreon, he actually just asked if we could channel Daphne, the Greek goddess of nature, and it also says the Greek goddess of wells, springs, fountains, streams, and just fresh bodies of water. Are you able to bring her in?
Yes.
Beautiful. So, Daphne, can you just tell us what your role is here?
Yes, I am an aspect and I am a spark of Gaia. So, as I call myself Daphne for purposes of connection and understanding, that I am an aspect of Gaia. So, Gaia has many aspects that work and help her, just as you have your body, and there are cells and there are microbes within your body that you aren't conscious of at all times. And so, when you think of your body as a planet. So as you're operating, you're conscious of certain parts of your planet, your body that are operating, and you can tend to those, but you have also different aspects that are helping tend to the microbes, tend to the cells within your body, tend to communicating and being a information transmitter for you and those cells. It's the same thing as for me and Gaia. I help in those aspects, and I create a connection so that when things need to be uh, communicated, or when Gaia needs me to do anything to help her keep her vessel clear, I am that what you would call middleman.
I love that. And what other ways is she helping us in the ascension?
Really showing the waters and the trash and the toxins within the waters. It's helping to helping to it's almost like they're putting the hands around it. So, and creating a higher frequency. So even though those toxins within the water carry this lower frequency, what I can do is use the energy field, the universal energy field, and to actually give them a higher frequency so they don't carry down the frequency of this ascension. So I go through as almost everything that looks like toxins or everything that looks like disturbances within the organic way, and protect them in a way, not protect, but help raise their frequency. It's almost like when you put your hands around water, that you can test its electromagnetic field and see the frequency that it would hold. But if someone were to meditate and put their hands around water and meditate and think of just higher frequency, higher love, unconditional love, you could then go back and test the same water and it would naturally have a higher electromagnetic field and a higher frequency. Same thing that I do within that stuff that looks like toxins and trash within your systems, because if it were to be too low as humanity's raising their vibrations and frequencies, if these things within the physical realm, within Gaia's vessel here in the 3D, it would drag down the ascension process. Like they wouldn't be able to raise their frequency as high. And so I'm going there and like raising the frequency, and it holds for a certain amount of time, but then I have to go back and do that all over again too.
Ooh, so is this the same as what grid workers are doing around the earth? So I've heard that like the electromagnetic field has been rebuilt, but then there are still people maintaining it. Does this work in the exact same way?
Yes, it's like an overlay of a higher frequency. So it's not eventually that low frequency still, you know, tends to pull it down. So you have to go back and do maintenance. You have to do maintenance.
That makes sense.
And eventually there'll be a separation. So then that lower frequency stuff will just fall away and then we won't have to do that maintenance. But in order for the, it's like showing the grid work or the construct, in order for it not to completely disassemble right now during this process, because if we didn't have this energetic help during this time, you would see great big earth changes like earthquakes and tsunamis, and you've already seen some of the volcanoes, and we held those volcanoes together. Like when the earth was trying to release, during all those times when you had a lot of those volcanoes one after the other, if we weren't holding the construct and helping keep the vibration high, it would actually, it could have, the whole matrix could have just fallen apart. And then we would have had it would have been a mass evacuation mission. So what we're trying to do with the raising of the levels of the vibrations and helping the ascension is we're helping hold it together, because the matrix wants to fall apart and disassemble, and that's mass chaos. And we're going to hold it to that point until the frequency is high enough when the separation will happen. When that separation happens on the other timelines, you will see a lot of those earth catastrophes that happen, but it will be all be purposeful, and it'll be fine, and it'll terraform, it'll be fine. So it's not something to fear, but just knowing that we're holding it together so it doesn't happen while those final lessons are being experienced.
So what do you mean exactly by the matrix wants to fall apart?
It's because the polarities are so extreme. As you raise your level of consciousness, you raise the vibration, the light gauge within humanity, the collective whole, that the polarity is too extreme. So it becomes too unstable. So because the vastness of the polarity extreme now, because you have very dense, low density energy, and then you have very high vibrational energy, and that makes the system, it makes the environment of this construct very unstable. When the polarities weren't as extreme, you had, the collective consciousness of humanity wasn't as high vibration, that it was able to keep a very maintained stable energy level, because it was able to really hold together them. But now we're at that point of separation that it's creating that instability, and that's where grid workers, that's where um, anything that needs to be held, like hold that vibration. It's so powerful at this time and needed.